Hello, I'm Siha, Cloud Support Engineer here at the AWS office in Mexico City. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize and resolve cluster health issues caused by having too many shards in your AWS OpenSearch service cluster. Let's get started. If your cluster has any of these conditions, then your cluster might experience low performance and health issues. More than 1,000 shards per node, indices with small shards, each less than 10 gigabytes, consistent node drops, high JVM CPU resource metrics, complications during blue-green deployments, a cluster state that's difficult for leader node to handle, and the use of small instances types such as T or C5 large. To determine the cause, review the domain trends in Amazon CloudWatch metrics. In the AWS console, navigate to CloudWatch. In the navigation pane, select Metrics, and in the drop-down menu, choose All Metrics. Inside the All Metrics tab, select the ES name, where you can find shard level, node level, and domain level metrics. On each level, you're going to find the possible metrics to check on your OpenSearch managed cluster. For example, the cluster level metrics, you can find them on per domain, per client metrics. At the top of the navigation pane, you can find the custom time range, where you can set the time range to 3, 6, 12, or 15 months. To see longer trends, increase the time range. For the longer time ranges, make sure to change the metric period to 1 hour. In a cluster with too many shards, you'll typically see an increase in the shards active count, especially over 1,000 shards per node or over the shard quota. Fluctuations in the nodes metric that are caused by node drops, an increase in JVM memory pressure that reaches to 75% or higher, a rise in the CPU utilization metric because the cluster uses more resources on garbage collection for the shards that it maintains. In this case, we can see uniquely an overly high amount of shards per node. To resolve having too many shards, you can either reduce the shard count of your indices or scale your instances. Option 1 will be reduce the shard count. It's best practice to limit the number of shards to between 20 to 25 per gigabyte of JVM heap memory. OpenSearch service JVM heap has a size quota of 32 gigabytes. Therefore, for maximum number of shards is approximately 640 to 800 for each node. To limit your number of shards, take a manual snapshot of your older indices and then delete them. Also, adjust your shard strategy so that your index shard size ranges between 10 to 50 gigabytes. Create an index state management template to automatically set up smaller daily indices with fewer shards. Use the Reindex API to combine all daily or weekly indices into a monthly index. And finally, adjust the index state management rotation period so that you don't create indices that are too small. Option 2 is scale your instances. For a temporary solution, scale up to a larger instance type for more resources per node to handle a higher number of shards. Or scale out by adding more data nodes to reduce the number of shards per node. For tips on how to optimize the number of shards for better performance, see the OpenSearch link in the video's description. Thanks for watching and happy cloud computing from all of us here in AWS.